guys, it's Art by C, and today we're going to talk all things sketchbooks. So just a little disclaimer, this video is going to be a little more sit down and talk, so if that's not your style, I have a bunch of other videos you can go check. So firstly, what is a sketchbook? Google defines it as a pad or book of drawing paper for sketching on. Now of course, this definition may vary depending on what kind of artist you are or what kind of art you like to do. So some people's sketchbooks may be more of a doodle book, or some people's may have more closer finished masterpieces. Do I have an elephant in my neighborhood? Okay, I think it's done. So for me, my sketchbook is essentially my second brain. It's where I unload all of my ideas, my lists, everything that I don't have enough files for in my brain. This can even be things just like simple math that I want to do or writing down people's numbers. It's not always sketches or have to do with my artwork. What the heck? And this brings me to my second point. Make sure you have a sketchbook that you're comfortable in, something you don't mind messing up or throwing around. I have a video entailing all the different details you can customize your sketchbook. I know there's this big stigma that, especially on YouTube, when you see sketchbook tours, people have these masterpieces in their sketchbooks. And personally, I wouldn't feel super comfortable bringing that thing everywhere, putting all my ideas in it when it has these beautiful pieces of work. And that's kind of another point I wanted to bring up. Me personally, I don't really put masterpieces in my sketchbook just because I like to save those for better materials that are more archival or for things that I can hang or put in frames. You can't really hang up your sketchbook with a bunch of different sheets unless you want to rip them out, but then that ruins the other page. So me personally, I try to avoid putting these masterpieces in my sketchbooks. And sometimes it even, I don't want to say like makes me angry, but it almost makes me uncomfortable when people like just have this sketchbook filled with like pieces they spent hours on, because it's like, don't you want to show that off? Or, and art's not of course all about showing off, but it is communicating your image to the public, and when it's stored away in a little book, it's kind of hard to do that. So I personally like to have at least a few pieces in there that do showcase my talent, just because when I'm showing my book to people or people want to see it, it's not like I'm like throwing it out there, but if someone asks, I do like to be like, okay, well, here's a piece that like showcases that I am actually able to make some better stuff. So the majority of my sketchbook, if you see my old sketchbook tour, it is a lot of little quick scribbles, things that I'm not really necessarily proud of at all, maybe even a little humiliated by, but I don't really care. That's why I show it off, because it's like, whatever. But I do like to have, you know, like 1, 2, 3, whatever, pieces that do showcase my talent, because if you are the type of person that shows your book off and doesn't care about the humiliation of the bad sketches, it is nice to like have a piece, especially when you're out with people and you kind of want to like establish yourself as an artist. When looking into sketchbooks of what you're most comfortable, there's a lot of different aspects to consider. Size, cover, paper using, depending on the type of medium you work with. Maybe you want a sketchbook that's completely watercolor paper. In my video, I kind of talk about a few of those different things, and you get to see a good idea of what I like. So for example, I really like standard 5x8 sketchbooks, hardcover. I don't like spiral that much, although it does have its pros and cons. I like a heavier paper that I could put somewhat medium on, but not too heavy that I don't have enough pages to work with. So it really just depends on your personal preference. And with your sketchbook, especially for me, I'm always constantly wanting to doodle, so I like taking it around with me. So that can definitely hinder your ideas on size, convenience, that's not the word I'm looking for, but basically you want to bring it with you. For example, if it's a really large sketchbook, that's really off-putting for me to bring it somewhere just because it's so clunky. So I do have some smaller sketchbooks that I keep in my purse, but my primarily one is a 5x8 because it's large enough that I can do larger pieces, but not small enough that I feel very limited. So for me personally, I definitely like having a sketchbook that I can throw in my book bag or even just carry with me with my purse if I'm going somewhere, so I definitely take that into consideration. I do of course have other pads of paper, you know, tone tan sketchbooks, watercolor pads, everything like that. But if I really do something I like, but it's not necessarily showcase quality, I'll just pop in my sketchbook with a piece of tape. I know some friends of mine will have like a sketchbook for studies, a sketchbook for more finished pieces, and a sketchbook for ideas, blah blah. I don't like to keep track of any of that. I just like to have one sketchbook. It's everything I need. I can just bring it with me, and that's everything I need. And this gets into my next and final point, that really your sketchbook should have no pressure associated with it. I think especially in this day and age, we want to have showcase-worthy quality of work to show off. And I really don't think a sketchbook should be that. Even if you look at Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbooks, he has like, you know, a little list of weird things. I think in a documentary they even said he had like his laundry list, which of course would have been different than what they are today. But, you know, it's really just an observation book. Again, going to that idea that YouTube has a bunch of sketchbook tours that people have these like beautiful sketchbooks filled. And of course that could be for college or an assignment or whatever. But I really think it's deterring some artists and myself too occasionally to just have this beautiful sketchbook that we can show off. But it's not going to be that. It's just your weird, obscure ideas that you need to get out onto a piece of paper. My friend even once talked about having a sketchbook that she didn't show anyone, which I think is a great idea, but also I'm the kind of person that I really don't think we should get humiliated by bad art. And I know we do, and I know especially in this society, if you are considered a master and then you showcase something that's not great, people are going to think less of you. But art is all a process, and every single step of that process isn't going to be beautiful. And I think there's a humility to it, to showing off work that's unfinished, unpolished. So basically, in conclusion, I think you should have a sketchbook that is essentially your second brain. You throw out all of your ideas. It's also something you're really comfortable with. You know, the paper doesn't make you cringe, or it's the right size that you feel comfortable bringing it out with you. Just basically a place you can unload your ideas, poems, song lyrics, lists, people's numbers that you need to jot down really quickly, really any of that kind of information. So I think, in my opinion, a sketchbook is just something, a piece of paper, a book, pad of paper, that place where you feel comfortable to unload your ideas. Don't really feel any pressure to make something great, because it's definitely not great most of the time. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know if you like this kind of format of a video, kind of sit and talk. I know throughout my videos I've mentioned bits and pieces of kind of my philosophy on sketchbooks, so I kind of really want to put that into a cohesive video. If you have any other topics you want me to like discuss in length, kind of like this video, or even any questions, just let me know down below. Let me know if you like this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.